What
Live.
is up, people? We are live and direct coming at you. Hello and welcome back to the show. The Cup Chasers are back for another episode. It's been a wonderful day and yesterday, of course, in the Champions League. Some craziness, some expected wins, some absolute and utter dominance from the big teams, at least some of them. And obviously, some good games at the weekend to get into as well, right before the international break. But of course, before we get into all that, go ahead and hype up the video, smash up the likes, subscribe if you're new. Of course, thanks for being here. And go ahead and tell us what you're thinking about our crazy takes down in the comments below. But I think tonight we might as well start with the game we just finished. Man City looking good at home versus Borussia Dortmund. I thought that it would be a stronger game, but at least for your sake, it's Foden looking good. Shirky came on, had a good couple of minutes. Haaland scores again. Reinders had a decent showing. I thought you guys looked good today. What are you
You
telling
left
me?
someone out because I have to make sure
I was gonna
that
let you speak on him.
that the hate or disdain or disappointment is only 75% there because Savinho had an absolutely fantastic game, except in the final third, because I don't know what was happening in the final third. The passing was, but he was beating this guy. He was dynamic. And what it does for City fans, I've looked at some socials, and they're confused because they're like, when we officially know we hate him, I don't hate anyone, but that's what it said. Then he comes back and he makes you love him, and that's what he did today. He looked great, and um, some people like theorize that the reason Savinho started this game is because Mr. Guardiola is looking forward to the weekend. And Shirky will likely start the game there, which I think would be fine. I mean, Shirky came on, got his goal, and did what he did. Nico O'Reilly played really well. You know it was very interesting is that the referee didn't call anything.
No.
And I was totally fine with it. I mean, there were literally fouls there that were. I think he didn't pull cards until the end because he's like, I guess I got to do something because there was some cardable stuff in there, and he didn't call it. But he was fair. He did it to both sides. He didn't it wasn't a bias. He basically was what NBA fans call the playoffs, where he just let him play. He did. He just
hmm
let him play. He didn't stop anything, and he I can think of at least three separate times where there was a guy, either a City guy or a Dortmund guy, rolling around on the ground. He was like, "Play on," did not care, and it was a little funny because I think what it did for the players is they're like, "Well, I guess we're just gonna play through it," and they really just played around people, and it was good. That first Foden goal, what I thought was really good. What was interesting about Foden is while he's not De Bruyne and he's not Silva, they played him in the middle. He's basically playing the eight. He was coming deep, and he was absolutely looking like he was loving life, man. He
hmm
Reinders was making the runs forward, and the only time Foden was really like looking like the 10 is when like City was in their final third, and he was just looking for pockets. And
Because
boy,
they were there all day. The
oh,
space
yeah,
in between the midfield and the defenders was insane.
he was making the half turns everywhere. Doku was looking good. Savinho, and the thing that's interesting is that Savinho did face what most teams do. They don't mark over there. They don't go over there at all. Like there was no one. But if we look at all the games he started before, that's how other teams play because he normally produces nothing, right? And again, we're recognizing he's good enough to be a professional football player because he's clearly that. But is he good enough to be the starting winger for Manchester City is a different question. But today he was 75% 100% there. He was dangerous. They had to account for him, and when they had to account for him, he created space in the middle. But his final ball is so bad, man. It's so bad.
I mean, there were a couple of times where I did go, like the one where Doku chips it over everybody, and
Yep.
he locked his ankle, and he hits it underneath it, so he like I know you've like tried to hit that volley before and hit underneath the ball, and so it put a bunch of backspin on it, but he still almost got it because of how hard he hit it. He didn't
Yes.
completely whiff it, and I was like,
Well,
whoa.
well, it's funny because that was where he was trying to analyze it, and that was a patient ball. Like he just had to be patient to play that ball.
Was it
But
Silva or was it Doku with the? It was like a
it
dink.
was Doku. Doku
Okay.
played it over
Yeah.
because I think that everyone was expecting Haaland, but Savinho was by himself
Mm-hmm.
on the back post. But I mean, it was a good game. There were moments where City looked really young and really dynamic. Now, again, I couch and sort of temper my excitement based on the fact that Dortmund didn't look their best today. Now, that's not saying they're not good, but they didn't look like they seemed out of sorts, transition wise, movement wise, and I think when you let City have the ball and then don't do the low block, we're like, oh, so this you just okay, we will take this,
It
and
seemed like
that's
they were
basically
in between it, right?
yeah,
Like they were
They-
trying to do it at times, and they didn't necessarily know when to trigger it.
yeah, but they didn't like sit back there. They weren't like, hey, we're
Right. Well,
gonna
that's
just
not
let.
in their nature.
Well, it needed to be today. I mean, if we're looking at it, I'm being honest because I mean the space Foden had, and then Reinders was just able to move around to get his assists with Holland. I mean, it was space there, and
Yeah, the Holland goal. How does that ball go through four different yellow jerseys? And let's not. I mean, and I love. I'm actually, in spite of myself, have become an Erling Haaland fan.
he's
Don't
a
get me
good player.
wrong. Don't
He's a
get me
good
wrong.
player.
I really don't like your team at all,
Fair
but I
enough.
like Haaland a lot, and
Yeah.
he ripped the net off with that shot, man. He absolutely like when it goes across and it got past those. I was like, oh, he's going to destroy that.
Well, you know what I think is interesting is that there's been, and I don't know if you see it, I guess it comes up because of what kind of stuff that I look at. I mean, I look at everything, but like, yeah, I'm seeing on a variety of football blogs and stuff like that they're just dying because of the thing that's going on with Vinny in Madrid. That Holland wants
Oh
to go
yeah,
to Madrid, and I'm like, but why? Like he's literally the king of Manchester. Like there's there's no there. I mean, sources. There's no buyout. City would never sell him. I mean, if they sold him, he would sell him for like 300 million. Like it would be some
oh yeah,
insane,
it'd be crazy.
ridiculous number, right? So, and you look at that,
Didn't he just
and
sign a new deal like 6-7 months
10 year
ago?
10-year deal. He's
Yeah,
not going anywhere. So,
yeah.
but I think I noticed that, and this is why I felt a little bit of it is when they start doing that with City, it's because City's good again. Because the whole intention is to disrupt the locker room. Because you didn't see it at all last year. There was no question about anybody going anywhere because City was mediocre, right? But when like at the beginning of the season
I
when
guess third
Rodri
is
was,
mediocre.
huh?
I said,
When
I
Rodri,
guess third place is mediocre.
I mean, if you saw the games, you saw the team, it was mediocre. We're not going to pretend like it wasn't that. But at the beginning of the season, early part of the beginning of last season, and the end of the previous one, what did you hear all the time? Rodri wants to go to Madrid. Like as soon as the team is good and people can see, they might be on something. Let's disrupt the apple cart of the best player on the team. And it's funny now the Rodri one. I guess I get because he's in the contract negotiations, but the Haaland one is insane because he literally just signed a deal.
Yeah.
Like he just signed a 10-year deal, and he's like paid very well. And again, but he's the king of Manchester. He
Yeah,
really
let's
can do
not
whatever he
let's
wants.
not just slide past that either. A year deal is the craziest deal any of us have ever heard of. And we've all seen
Well,
what Chelsea's done in the
I was
last
gonna say
three
it's not crazy.
seasons.
Chelsea gives 7-year deals, so Haaland was
Yeah,
like, "I want that plus money."
they ain't handed out a 10-year deal yet
Oh,
because
is anybody is
they don't
anybody
have
good as him?
somebody like
I was about to say, is
Haaland.
anybody as good as him? But just to the point, it feels like they're figuring stuff out. Um, I don't know how much. Again, you got to see. Like for example, when Liverpool played the other day, um, they that Liverpool we saw was a rebound Liverpool, but you were unsure like what, because Madrid has been less than their best too. They've been super inconsistent, even though they are where they are. So for the Liverpool Madrid game, you look at the historic heavyweights, and you never really know what comes. So when the McAllister scores that goal, you think, okay, well, there's something in here, and it looked like it was. But to give Liverpool credit, they played and held on, and Courtois
They
had to
relied
do some
on a
work.
set piece.
Yeah, but but you look at that and you say, okay, if that's the Liverpool, obviously they're getting themselves up to play on the weekend. City clearly has to be getting themselves up to play on the weekend. So it's I'm appreciative it's at home because obviously Anfield is it even with the bumps here, it's still a fortress. You still respect the history and the ground, and so I think the game will be exciting. But to focus on today, City I think are fourth in the table on 10 points. I think only Arsenal and what everybody above them are undefeated. I
It's
think.
Bayern, Arsenal. It's Bayern, Arsenal, Inter,
Inter
City.
is undefeated, right? I think Inter hasn't lost a game, right?
Yep.
So it's all the undefeated teams and in City, and that's cool. I mean, it's a long way. The teams that are above City have proven that they really are on fire. Like the teams above them are legitimately there, and so lots of respect to them. Holland has, I think they said he has 32 goals in whatever games in the Champions League. It's like some insane number and run he's on,
Yeah, it's
and
like 32 and 36 or something like that. It's
it's
crazy.
it's it's something crazy. But even with that, I think the biggest thing was a lot of people. The chatter was, can City score without him? And then, as the internet will call him, Philip Walter Foden said, "I'm back."
Well, it's like I said in the chat earlier today. There's a different, or no, I said it actually. I commented on somebody's YouTube video. They were talking about this. There's a difference in being able to score when Haaland doesn't, and being able to score when Haaland doesn't play.
Right.
And they proved today what is the biggest question: can they score when he doesn't? Remember, a lot of people will look at that performance today and say, "Oh man, Foden was great, 2 fantastic goals." They're kind of like individual goals. The assist was just a normal pass, and he is
Right.
turned around
He does everything
and
else. Yeah.
and dunks it in the corner on both of those. Right.
Yep.
Erling Haaland should have had 2 assists today.
Yeah.
No one's gonna say that. No one's gonna look at that. No one's gonna be like, "Oh, can they score when Big Earl doesn't do it?" Well, bro, O'Reilly was wide open, was
Bro,
on the 6
the
for a
placement was,
tap it.
yeah, placement was bad.
And that wasn't just it. That was a really good pass to him too, like
Excellent
a
pass.
quick like twist and cut back pass. Yeah,
Keeper had
from
to do nothing. The keeper
Holland.
was just there. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think personally, y'all are the biggest threat at the moment as far as the league is concerned.
And Holland's evolved his game too. Like I think,
Absolutely.
but it's interesting because not to cut off your point, is that speaking of that, there are commentators who, and again, I think it means that the pundits believe City is back too, because the hate is back to where it was, where they're like, well, there's nothing special about Haaland. Okay, I mean, hey man,
You're
and
not
so
watching if you think that.
but it's for it's meant to deflect and distract, because that means the team is showing a cohesion. Because another person where I don't think I've mentioned him at all, and he's been consistent, and because obviously there's the Savino thing, and Doku's been good, and the wing play has been a question. But hey, man, Nico Gonzalez, man.
He's up
Dude,
this a couple weeks ago when you were
dude
talking
has
about him.
been he is D6 for us. Like, it's funny because I think I mentioned this earlier.
You said it, man.
I said, hey, if you could
You
get
were right.
him and Rodri together,
Well, you said a couple weeks back, if he had a run where Rodri wasn't in the team, where they weren't trying to shoehorn Rodri in just because he's still Rodri, or maybe he's not, but
he's not.
on when he's probably got flashes of it still, but
Sure.
he's not going to give you 38 80-minute performances,
Right.
And so given the chance that Nico has had, I think he has stepped up in the last 3-4 games.
And but the interesting thing is that it was about the patience of playing with Rodri, and the same way Rodri played with Fernandinho, because again, I guess it was probably 5 seasons ago maybe 5 or 6 seasons ago when Rodri got there, and he wasn't good when he first got
Good
there.
grief. Has
He
it
was
been
not
that
good.
long?
Yeah, he wasn't good. And Fernandinho was there being, the yellow card merchant he was, chipping at every. Hey, Fernandinho did exactly what you needed a six to do. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Pick up 30 yellow cards a season.
Hey, man, he knew when to get them, so he had the accumulation so he could play, get himself a rest. But in that process, he learned, and Rodri obviously having bigger. He's a taller guy, physically bigger. That when if he takes that plus his own ball skills, you create a monster of a player. And Nico basically has the same frame and build as him. He's literally built exactly the same. I think he's from La Masa too. So he's.
Speaking of builds, I noticed today on the second one of the goals, O'Reilly is as big as Haaland.
He's taller than him. He's 6'6". He's giant.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
He's
man.
huge.
When I remember when I saw him
humongous.
2 seasons ago when they played in North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and he was bad, but he was, because they was playing him at the six, but he's giant, man.
He's humongous. I didn't realize that until today when they were celebrating the second goal or whatever. I was like,
oh my
God.
Another thing that I can't remember if I said, but I know it was in my brain, is I said, man, you got to play Stones and Gavardi all together. And then they did it, and you see what they did. Like, I'm not knocking Diaz. Diaz is having a really good season too. He's come back. Like, his speed hasn't been as significant. Like, I feel confident because he was on the bench. He's going to start the Liverpool games, as well as Bernardo Silva will start with that game. And I actually don't have a problem with that, because the way he's playing Bernardo now it fits exactly. When you need that steel guy to calm stuff down, there you go. But I felt like because of the ball playing skill of Stones and the defensive IQ, and in addition to Gvardiol's pace, I felt like that back line works well together, because you really can't take the ball off of them just because of the footballing skill. So when you put Nunez back there, who is a midfielder, but fairly good defensively, and then you have O'Reilly, who's also a midfielder, but he's essentially a left back now. There was a cohesion and sort of a security where you could feel those guys could hold the ball, they could see passes, they could see channels, and they played that way. Now, I don't know if when Dortmund saw that, if that was why they kind of played the way they did, but there was skill everywhere, man. And this was the first time that I saw them look comfortable. Even Savinho, man. And I'm just going back to him because some of the runs and the attacks he did, I'm like, where has this been?
Well, it's been a lack of space in the league. You don't have that space.
But Doku doesn't have space. Like, I mean, he knows this. In Man City, you're not going to get that. You're hugging the line. You got to do what you need to do. And if you're going to play balls in, you have to either play the feet, play the heads, but you got to, or give them that leading cross to go to space.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do any of that. I mean, again, the passing has been, but And then Cherky comes on, and Cherky just like you already know he's a baller. Like there's zero. The man came on, you're like, yeah, he's gonna do something, and he immediately comes on and does stuff. Like he's a baller, and it's funny because they showed his stats from the last 3 games. He has 2 goals and I think 4 assists. Like,
Yeah, man, the header at the weekend,
yeah,
in the Bournemouth game,
yeah, man, just
that was that was awesome. That was awesome. But I'm interested, because we were talking about, I was kind of making fun of Hansi Flick earlier before we started. If you watch and you see, you don't get to see Man City in a tight formation out of position very often. But where it's really obvious is on the free kicks. So you gave away a free kick today, right? And it's like 10 yards past the halfway line. Did you see how high you held that defensive line? It was like another 10 yards. You were like 7 or 8 yards outside of the 18. And so when that's clearly, and you'll also see it if a team like the next time City plays Arsenal, and you may not see it against Liverpool because you guys are probably going to have a lot more of the ball than them. But the next time somebody has a spell of possession right outside the box against you guys, you'll probably see it when we play you. Your line is so high, even in the box. It's kind of really interesting, and I've only been able to that's why I'm like kind of stumbling over it a little bit, because it's like I've only seen it a few times, but it's clearly like something that Pep's told them to do, which is really interesting to me. So like if y'all play Barcelona, and it's why you were able to hit Bournemouth on the counter so well, is because you condensed the field. He purposely made the field really small, and so all Shirky has to do is one header, and you're at the halfway line. But Shirky's already celebrating before Haaland's got the ball under control. Did you see that?
Yeah, man.
And so like that was tactical. It wasn't just like you won a second ball and the ball lobbed up, or was it like a lobbed pass to Shirky? I don't remember. But anyway, he's able to head it on.
Yes, a lob. It was a lob.
And Haaland's just in.
Yep.
Because you've made the field so small. And Bournemouth were trying to do the same thing. And I think Pep knew that. But he was already, I've seen your defensive line be held really, really high. And I think it's very interesting to me. I think it works because you don't face too many, you don't not have possession a lot, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, the only time this season where we conceded possession was when we played Arsenal. And Pep was fine with like, hey, you take the ball. Because stuff was still getting figured out.
That's another thing. He did the same thing today. That's another thing he's been doing that's interesting this season, is like legit sitting on a lead. Because y'all looked really complacent today. And Pep kind of realized after Dortmund scored that it's like, okay, we're not really at it anymore. And you went to a back five. Diaz came on. You went to a back five.
Yeah. And because the commentator made a comment about that, because he was giving the ball to Dortmund. He was like, all right, well, see what you can do. Which maybe in sort of
I don't have a problem with it, but like Pep doing that?
But in a weird, cynical world, I think if it's me, I would think, okay, you're doing that. Our biggest issue was we struggled closing games defensively, right? So what better thing to do is, okay, we're comfortable. We're not 100% safe, but we're fairly comfortable. Let's see what they do. Because, like, for example, there was a play, and there's a miscommunication that happens too, because the one where I always want to call him Buffon, but when Gigi went out, his name is
Gigi, yeah.
But he went out, and the ball got played back to him, and the Dortmund guy was coming, so he had to slide twice. And it's funny because people are like, "Why did the back line do that?" It's because he called them off. He called them off.
He was doing it all game. Yeah.
So so they just let it go, and they're assuming he's going to get the ball, and he's kind of taking his time.
He hesitated.
Right, and he hesitated, so he had to do it twice. And you're looking because I think the thing that happened is there was 5 games, and then he didn't get scored on. Then he got scored on. It was the one, and then we lost that game, and then he got scored on today. And I think that it's fun because there was a comment I read where there's a little bit of indecisiveness. He's generally overall he's pretty decisive, but like people are questioning how come he's not catching the ball, right? Like he's not catching crosses that he can clearly catch, but it's because he's getting fouled all the time. So if you notice, he's punching everything out, like everything, even the goal that
he missed one today.
Right, the one against Bournemouth when he got scored on, he was trying to punch it. He didn't try to catch it, and so I think he's trying to compensate for how the physicality is coming at him, and he's like, okay, well, I can't grab these because the thing is, if you go up to catch it, they're not calling those fouls.
Right.
They're not calling them, so he could go up, drop the ball, or miss the ball, and then all of a sudden he risks getting injured if he tries to catch it. So it's just easier, and I get it, to punch the ball, but that means you got to get a good hand on it, man. Like, because if you don't,
yeah,
Bournemouth, you get scored on. But
especially with teams clogging the box, which is interesting. You saw that Chelsea against Tottenham left 3 forwards during the long throw-in to give Sanchez space, so there wasn't so many bodies. Chelsea left the 3 forwards up, and let's be honest, Tottenham were absolutely horrendous on Sunday, but it was just catching practice for Sanchez all day long. So I mean, if there's less space in there, there's more space in there rather, because there's less bodies, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I agree, and it's interesting because looking at Chelsea, but and that one was early, right? But overall, City
the early game, yeah.
Overall, I saw the first 2 goals, and I was like, okay, it's good, but the games are never close. And they came out fine, and then Dortmund kind of woke up when the team went to sleep. But then you saw he kind of shut it down. But I think players like Shirky and Foden, I don't think they know how to not attack. So that's why they just kept going. Because when Shirky came on, he's like, hey, man, I'm trying to score goals. That's nice. You told them to not do anything. I don't know how to do that. He doesn't. He just attacks all the time. And so
I also think you've got some good, healthy competition for spots now.
Yes, there's Nori, who was good to start the season. Oh man, O'Reilly. I know we talked about this before. O'Reilly is the star left back, man.
He's looking good, yeah.
And Kusanov, I mean, he's good, and he gives you the pace. But again, if you give me Stones and Gvardiol, I'm even fine with Diaz. I don't know how
So what's happening at the weekend?
I don't know, man. Because the thing about it is that obviously Salah is the first issue you account for, right? And if you're accounting for Salah, then Aït-Nouri's not playing. 2
goals in 2 games.
Aït-Nouri's not playing. So you put the big, tall, fast guy on him. So Aït-Nouri's not going to play there, or he won't start at least. If he does, I'd be shocked. But I wouldn't. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I wouldn't be surprised, but I would question it. But I expect O'Reilly. I expect Diaz to play. So that means Stones has to get dropped because there's no one else, because Nico's playing in front of him and Gvardiol is a left-footed center half. So he's starting. And that leaves Kusanov is not in form. So that means Nunez is going to start, which he's been fine.
Against Gakpo. It'll be Gakpo probably.
It's still
Gakpo, Ekitike, Salah. Yeah.
He's fine. And so then obviously Nico is in front of them. Now the biggest call is who plays the wings and up front, because I mean we know it's Haaland, so we're not talking about him.
Yeah.
and I feel confident Foden will play. And if Foden
he likes Silva in the big games for experience.
But Foden's on fire right now, so you can't sit him. I mean, you can, but I
Doku on the left.
And so that means Savinho has to sit, and Reinders has to sit, because you would play Foden and
Shirky, right?
No,
Shirky didn't start today, so
no, I don't think he would. I think he's going to play Reinders.
So Silva, Reinders, and then Foden out wide.
I think so.
But unless he starts Savinho.
If dude, and again, even with me giving Savino props for in improving his play, this is a game you got to score goals, man. You can't miss chances.
And it'll probably be Robertson because Kirk has just been all over the place. So, and Robertson started the last 2 games, so it'll probably be him.
But if it's me, I'm playing Foden and Shirky with Bernardo and Reinders and Nico because I'm literally controlling the ball the whole time, and I'm letting those guys because they interchange. But I feel like Doku has to start because he's the only dynamism that's there.
Who gets left out?
Somebody got to get left out.
Somebody gets dropped. Yeah.
I feel like it'll be Shirky. I do because Reinders is his 8. Like Reinders is the 8. Like he's the starting 8.
He's kind of like an old school box to box.
Right, and the reason he's going to start, he has the pace. He can play the 10. He can play the 6. So he's playing. And so the question is, does he start Bernardo? I think he does. But if he doesn't, then the midfield is Nico, Reinders, and Phil, with Shirky out wide and Doku, the one that I said is feeding families, which is basically the lineup they ran at Bournemouth.
Yeah,
this is the same. It's the Bournemouth lineup. But I think it'll be a good game. Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, and I'm looking forward to the Haaland Van Dijk, thing. Because I still have tons of respect for Van Dijk. We don't have to love him. We still know he's a good player. And
he won't attack Van Dijk though. He's going for Konate. Konate is a shambles right now. Yes, they've both as a whole, Liverpool have improved in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
In the last 10 games, Konate's been suspect at best. At best. And so if I'm Haaland, I'm right down Main Street, right at it, man. You know what I mean? And
yeah, man.
But it's going to be interesting because what they were able to do against Madrid, in my opinion, was they just upped the energy. They just upped the passion, the, for the badge kind of, verve. And it was just, in the Champions League just hits different, especially when it's 2 big teams like that. And honestly, when you look at Madrid this season, that's the blueprint. That's how Arsenal beat them. Is we just, it's one of those things where it's like, look, lads, we can't do this every week, but we're going 100,000,000% for 90 minutes today. We're going to give absolutely everything at every single moment. And when your name's Real Madrid, people get up for you like that. And I think Liverpool are going to look at Man City and be like,
yeah,
it's been a week, but we've got another one in us.
Yeah. Well,
they're bringing it.
I feel like they didn't have I feel like Madrid didn't bring anything attacking wise to really challenge them in that way. I think City would be better at attacking, but I can't promise City will be better at defending. Because Courtois was, man, he was on his head, man. He's on his head, and I mean,
save after save.
We said in the chat, is he the best in the world? And I'm like, in this moment, I think so. Yeah. Even though we got scored on, I still think he's
after that display.
He's probably the best keeper in the world. He's been obviously top 3 for a long time, but this season he's been really, really, really good. So it'll be interesting. I think City can beat Pool, but again it's cautious. But all I know, and I guess I'll put it in the universe. If we get Phil Foden like we had today against Liverpool, I better watch out, man, because they was like, well, who else would Haaland know? Okay.
I want to see a 3-3, man. I want to see fireworks. I want to see an absolute barnstormer. But I do want to draw. As much as you
sound like me now. You sound exactly like
I'm just saying, as much as I do believe that City and Haaland and Pep are our biggest, threat as far as what we have to do to continue on and win the title, I think Liverpool will, if they're not, we may have all, they may have already be, have come back to where you can no longer expect them to, it may already be over the blip. You know what I mean? So I still think, obviously it is early. We're only quarter of the way through, but, I still think that there's a lot of twists and turns left to go.
For sure.
Obviously I've got my eyes on all kinds of different records and stuff and trophies and stuff. My eyes are all getting, wide as saucers with how Arsenal are playing these days. But, I'm trying to keep it cool and calm. And so I'm still wanting to draw. I still think for both I would rather be up 8 and 9 than 6 and 10 as far as points, no matter who it is.
You sound like me because that's how I root, for opponents. Like, hey, I have no desire for you to lose. Just nobody wins. It's easier.
Hey, I'm just happy that I'm also playing a big title 6-pointer this weekend.
Who are you playing?
We got Sunderland.
Oh,
they're fourth place, bro.
That's gonna be an interesting game.
It's gonna be a tough game, man. It's absolutely gonna be a tough game. Segues are weird. We might as well.
Where's it at?
That's at the Emirates.
Oh, okay. Well, because that's the one I sent you the text about because of what's his name?
Because Granit Xhaka's coming back to town.
Right. Yeah.
On Saturday, absolutely.
Is that the 12 o'clock game?
It's the early kickoff. Yeah. Or no, it's not. I think United and Spurs are the early kickoff. Actually, it is Saturday though. I think it might be at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, United is the first kickoff. You guys are 12:30 because Chelsea plays. No, Chelsea plays at 3.
Oh, okay. They got the 8 o'clock over there. Over there.
They did travel across the world to get their draw, so
Yeah, when Patrick texted me about that, I looked it up because I was like, 2,500 miles. Because my first thought was, well, Arsenal went 600 miles, and we swept aside a better team than Q-Bag, but they went 2,500. It's legit 2,500. London to Baku it's like 2,470 or something. I was like, oh, wow, that's quite a ways.
The jet lag.
Yeah, something, man. But hey, I know what it's like to go to, to see my team go to Baku and just absolutely do nothing at all. That's not a happy memory. It's a nightmare. But it wasn't a nightmare on Tuesday.
Yeah, man.
Bro, we're absolutely crushing it, man, right now.
I mean, you obviously you should have won this game, but it was good. With the injuries and stuff that you have, I think it was a good result.
Oh man, yeah, and I don't know if you got to watch the game, but the performance was just another absolute lockdown, like comfortable, not even anything against us kind of. I think it was another one shot on target, maybe not even. I think it's interesting that, how I've always said the best teams approach games where they just kind of keep the other team in front of you and see what they're going to do. And then, all right, that's not effective. We're just going to do we're going to do what we know will beat you. That's kind of how Arsenal are approaching games these days. If you look season to season on our second place finishes, I was thinking about this the other day. In 22-23, when we blitzed, remember how we blitzed teams at the beginning of the game, and then we'd kind of cool off and we couldn't hold on to leads. And that's when you ran us down that 8-point lead with 8 games to go.
Yeah, man.
Okay, and then the next season we didn't open games like that, and we were accused of having the handbrake on and stuff like that. But we kind of solved that problem of fading in games, And so, and then the next season, we were supposed to, move on, and our defense did improve, but our attack did not. because we were horrendous in the transfer market last season, and we didn't have any squad depth. But this season, we've answered not only have we answered the questions from the first year, we also don't fade in games like the second year, and now we have depth better than anyone, which was last year's issue, And so the only thing that's left is the mentality that I've been calling out for however long we've been doing this, and that as well has been there this season. And Prague is not there. I mean, obviously they're not one of the better teams in the league, but they have been able to really frustrate some teams. That 3-0 that Inter got took them till like the 60th minute. Like it wasn't like it's a little bit of a flattering result for Inter.
No walks. Yeah, no walks.
And so I wasn't expecting us to be even as good as we were today, because the last few performances have been, as I say, okay, Burnley hasn't really produced much, so we're in third gear, and that was kind of how I felt about the Fulham game a bit as well, because Fulham never offered anything, and we didn't have to blitz them, because they didn't do anything, and so we've just been kind of dealing with what's in front of us. And at the beginning of maybe the first 10-15 minutes of the Prague game, they had a lot of energy. They were coming at us. They, like 4 minutes in, they got a shot off because they won a second ball. You know how I preach about second balls. And so obviously going into this one, I was, we weathered that first 10-15 minutes or whatever, and then got control and never looked back. Of course, I think that, Gyökeres, when Gyökeres went down and I heard that he wasn't going to play, I was like, you know what, that's fine. Just let him rest. And unfortunately, it's a little bit more serious than I expected. So he's not playing on Saturday either.
He'll be back late November. That's what the injury report I just looked at said.
Yeah, he should be back for Spurs.
Okay.
If not, he'll be back for Bayern, because the international break is after this next week, after this weekend, and so Mikel Merino, man, this guy, like, I don't even want to call it form. It's not just like he's just like hot right now. Like, he's gradually gotten better and better and better, and it's happened way quicker than I expected. Because I'm sure you remember when we bought him last time, he came in during the worst summer that we've had in ages. Man. He came in last summer and it was just the most underwhelming thing, because I didn't know who he was. I didn't watch Real Sociedad 2 seasons ago.
Yes, no one did.
I wasn't like, oh my God, But if you remember, Sociedad were like third in La Liga a couple of seasons ago because of Zubamendi and Merino. And apparently Arteta knew about it and it's like, you know what, we'll have that. We'll have both of those. And he's just gotten better and better and better. And right now he's on an absolute tear. I think only Gyökeres has more goals. And he might be level on goals. He's got goals for Spain, goals in the League Cup, goals in the league, goals in the Champions League. Ask him to play in the 8. Ask him to play up top. Doesn't matter. He's coming in. He's giving you 8 out of 10 performance. He's scoring goals. He's battling for the, he's doing, he's obviously a different profile than Gyökeres. He's not going to be on the last man running in behind, but he does combine the height and physicality against the forwards with the kind of false 9 hold-up play. So it's a little bit of a hybrid of what he's able to do and how he approaches the number 9 role. And dude, he can't stop scoring headers, man.
Hey, you need somebody good at that, right? He has him. What did they say? Who was it? Giroud, the meaty forehead.
Yeah, man.
Got a meaty foreheaded man.
And yeah, I will be honest here. Prague were nowhere to be found. Not 9 seconds into this. Not it's 14 seconds into the second half, guys. Did you make it out of the locker room? They were no. It's a free run in the six. I would have scored. I would have scored that. The second goal, Marino's first. It's a free run. I mean, yeah, all day long. We'll take that all day long. Like, I don't know what they were doing there, but
Hey,
you
it's none of your
mentioned.
business. As long as it went in.
Oh yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a neat little tidy finish. Sure, sure. Uh, you mentioned the referees in the City game and about how they were letting things go. I generally think that the referees have been decent in the Champions League this season.
Yeah, man.
But I will say our penalty was the handball rule is just obviously it's changes like every week, every season, and I will say that man, that's super harsh. The penalty that we were awarded, that's a harsh penalty, man. If it was awarded against us, I'd be livid. Because that was like the idea is for me where the rule change needs to be is the definition of what's natural when you jump. When you jump in the air, do your arms naturally do this when you jump, right?
Yep.
And especially if the ball is coming at your face, you're going to do one of these. You're just naturally going to, and so the homie's not even looking at the ball, right? The ball's coming in. Marino's leapt right in front of him, and he moves his head because he thinks he's about to take one in the face, and he has his arm up in front of his face, and Marino flicks it, and he's a foot away, and apparently this is an unnatural position when you've leapt off the ground, and it hits his hand, and they're giving that a handball these days. I'm not complaining, obviously, and Saka puts away a good penalty, but it's just something to think about with the way the handball is called, and it's all about natural positions now.
Well, that happened in the Madrid game too. For when who was it? I think it might have been Camavinga where he was sliding, and he turned his
Yeah.
face away, and when he turned his face, his arm lifted because.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason they didn't give him a penalty is because it hit his leg first. That's because they were
Right.
otherwise it would have been a handball. Even though, how else is he supposed to fall?
Yeah, he has to put his hand down so that he doesn't break his face on the floor, like so he doesn't take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
The conversation about what's natural, I think, needs to be relooked at.
But here's the thing that also is true, and we have to like kind of own that too, is the fact that there's guys who are really good. That these guys are professional athletes, so they've learned how to simulate things in falling. So as much as we want to give the benefit of the doubt about, how they do, I'm also going to say some got the dives we've seen, the simulation we've seen. We know people
my
can
favorite
get away with those.
is dragging your leg across a defender's shin.
Or even some of the stamps that we've seen on players, and I know we're not on we're not covering the Bayern game, but like the Luis Diaz thing,
that was
was
bad.
like, what was he doing? And the thing
That
about
was
it
bad.
is he's like, I don't know,
Hakimi's hurt too, man.
he's for
Hakimi's
real
hurt. Yeah, he's like for real. It's like 2 months.
But the thing about it is like what and red card was correct, but what would possess you to do that? We know exactly what to catch a guy from the back like that, and you basically scissor his ankle.
It's rough, man. That one was rough.
And I say that to say that these footballers are. I'm not saying they're malicious because I feel like most don't go out to hurt each other, but they know how to act,
Yeah.
And so why while I understand that there are some harsh things, there's some really good actors because they
Mhm.
know the rule and how things are called, or at least how the referees may call things. But yeah, I think just looking at the highlights for Arsenal and just overall, they the team is in a really good run. It's impressive, and hey man, I support the happiness and and the consistency Arteta has been functioning with. You've seen, and this is my perception, but you've seen a little bit less of, or you've heard less of the sort of the arrogance that comes from him. You haven't heard anything. Now I do understand that a lot of times when those quotes come from him is when the team is in a kind of sketchy patch, and that's his defense mechanism. But but there were times before where maybe results weren't perfect and the team was playing like maybe a 1-niller that you win and there was a complaint, but even then he's not doing any of that. So I think he's maybe he's to quote the joke that they talked about Holland. Maybe Arteta has humbled himself. Maybe he's said, "Hey, I got what I wanted. Now let me just let it happen and go from there." And if that is the case, I mean, I have tons of respect for him as a manager. I think he's a top tier manager. I mean, does he need to get across the finish line for him to receive the proper accolades? Yeah, he does. But there's no question the quality is.
I think he's absolutely exhibited moments of his growth and humility in such areas, especially if you look at how we played in the second half against Burnley. We weren't trying to, against Crystal Palace. He recognized that we were essentially getting beat in the midfield. The 50-50 balls, or the second balls were like 50-50 as far as we'd win one, they'd win a couple, we'd win one. Some people look at that Palace game and say, oh, Arsenal controlled, able to eke out a 1-0, great win. There was no control. There was no control. We didn't control that game. And in the second half of the Burnley, we didn't control that either. There wasn't a lot of control in that, because in the Palace game, Arteta seemed to realize, all right, we're kind of getting run over a little bit in the midfield, not at it today. And so he dropped off. He just said, you know what, fine, break us down. Do it. You won't. And they weren't able to. Same thing with Burnley. All right, you didn't show up for the first half. We got 2 goals. We don't have to come out and be crazy now. Break us down. And they weren't able to do it. Same thing with Prague. Same thing with Prague. We dealt with their initial pressure. We did what we needed to do to get on the score sheet and get ahead. And then he started making subs. Got all the players that I wanted. All the credit goes to Mikel Arteta. He's definitely noticeably taking it game by game. You can see that each week, some of the things we're doing are very game specific. And I really, really hope that, as much as I have been critical of Arteta, one thing that he's always been able to do, and I think is one of his best attributes, is these guys will run through 17 brick walls for this guy. They'll absolutely, they're given every single thing they have the whole game. So you can see when Leandro Trossard comes back to make a tackle in the 94th minute, and him and Big Gab are celebrating like they've won the cup because we've up 3-0. They've blocked a shot coming in. They haven't allowed the shot in or something, and we're celebrating because I saw another video pointing out the fact that, again, in the 93rd minute, up 3-0, we lose the ball kind of in the midfield. Everyone ran back. Again, it's the 93rd minute, and we're crushing this team. They haven't offered anything. They've had one shot on goal. Every single person ran back that was on the field to try and get back into position. And I mean, that's what it takes. Just that mentality that you have to fight for every second, every single second, all the way through the line until it's done, until the ref blows the whistle.
And the thing about it is that I think there's always been a buy-in, but I think there's been less talking by the team, and it just feels like there's a humility that's there that 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 they're displaying now. And again, I mean, obviously, as a supporter of a different team, uh, I've seen the progression, and I see, the progress. But so I respect it. And as a friend, I'm like, man, that's cool to see, because it's nothing like seeing your team be good, and so you can support them. But at the same time, um, because the goals are different, it's weird, because again, I've stood by, if this is the one you get it done, I'm absolutely proud of the work. I mean, I do understand that you are different than the disgusting Arsenal fans that'll be out there. You're different than them in it. Like for example,
I won't be too crazy.
But I mean, you'd have the right. Like, if you guys, and the funny thing is, I'm not saying which thing. If you can do more than one, hey, great. But I mean, I think if someone told you, Jake, at the end of the season you only can win one, the league or the Champions League, but you don't know which one, but you're gonna win one. You take whatever the hell the season.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't care.
Whatever one it is, you're taking it, because first of all, if you win the big ears one, that's the first one ever, right?
Ever.
And so that's right. That you think
that's
the gold
like
trophy
gets a statue. Yeah,
you think the gold trophy meant something, right? But if it's that, but the Premier League is just as important. And I'm saying that because contextually it is, right. Like, I mean, for City, if I would say even Pool, like, I think winning the league is important, but I think they want the Champions League more. They would obviously, I think every top tier team wants to win the league, but I think you guys, if someone asked Arsenal fans if you had to pick one, and it sounds crazy to me, but I think I understand and believe it, I think you all would pick the league. I think,
of course.
I think every person would pick the league, which to me is insane, but I understand, because there's a difference with that. It's similar to, like, Liverpool not winning something for so long, and that just get it off of me thing,
No, that's definitely what it is. 21 years without a league title. You forget we still have the third most league titles. You're creeping up on that record, man. You're right behind me. I'm only 3 ahead of you. So I need to get back in the race here. You know what I'm saying? It's been too long. But
yeah,
there's a context about the question as well. If you're saying in isolation, we're not really thinking about next season. We're just thinking about this season, into the season. What do you want? Yeah, it's definitely the league, because if you really think about it, when this team, you've said it yourself, when this team wins one, man, more are coming. More are coming. More are coming. This team is like, Saliba just signed a new deal because he said himself, because he wants to be here and win trophies, plural, here with this team, because he knows this team has more than one in them. You know what I mean? And the potential is clearly there. This season, next season, we've got the depth now and even if, one or two players comes in and another couple leave, etc., the team change, we're going to be here. We're going to be here for the foreseeable future.
For sure. Well, the thing that you're young, but see, this is why it makes it makes the City thing funny, and I think this is why I also understand, to the degree of what you said about Arsenal wanting to win the league, because, for example, your center halves are two of the best center halves in the world. Period. No questions. And you don't hear anything about people trying to poach your players. And it's because, and it's respectfully said, is because you haven't won anything yet. But the second you win something, you gotta disrupt that balance, because that you gotta. Hey man, we gotta find a way to break those guys apart,
They're
because
already about to offer Saka another deal. Smart.
because once you win something, everything is coming out after you, man. Like, because think about what Salah went through. That Liverpool won the league during last year. Fantastic season for him. But what was the immediate thing? Hey man, this team wants him. They
Saudi wants to give you $100 million.
As soon as you win, they're like, all right, let's upset it, because if we can upset the star, then we upset everything else. And that's the goal. So, I would, if I'm Arsenal, and I know the guys say they don't they don't look at those things, but if I'm Arsenal, I kind of look at that and I'm saying, hey man, they don't respect us. They don't want our guys, right? And I would take it that way, because for example, I think any of your guys any of your center halves start at Madrid, Munich, whatever. They start in any of the other big clubs. So City, literally any big club they start, and so they can say, well, hey, why is nobody saying that I'm going to this place, right? And we know, we know Arsenal is ascending, but not there yet, right? And so then, if I'm Declan Rice, right? Why is Madrid not coming after me, right? Like I'm the Tony Kroos regen. You know what I'm saying? But you don't hear it.
Tchouaméni, Bellingham, and Camavinga is a hell of a midfield.
Oh, I'm not knocking it, but but again, think now, if we use that, let's go back to before Tony Kroos went to Madrid. Madrid was good. It wasn't like they did, like, where was he supposed to slide? Because at the time, I think Xabi was there. Xabi Alonso was there. He wasn't, on paper, he wasn't better than none of them. Went straight in there.
Was Ozil still there?
I don't know, but just to think,
was it that long ago?
Yeah, but just to think, when Kroos went there, they didn't need him.
Right.
Think about the time when Gareth Bale went there. They didn't need a winger. They didn't need him at all. So that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, either you have to be a world.
I get it. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But
Madrid don't need him to come get him,
because they're gonna go get him, right? And so if I'm them, I'm kind of offended, right? But you don't want me? I'm not a Galactico. You know what I'm saying? And so I would feel away, right? Because even Saka, and obviously he's been consistent. He hasn't been like, star boy, world beater guy. But he's been maintained his level, because he set it up here. But if I'm
the GA is there, man. The GA is always there, and it's there.
Yeah. Right, but the projection was like, so now, but now Yamal is there, and you're saying, hey man, like, why don't they want me? Because if I'm being honest, and I think you would 100% agree with me on this, if you gave me a choice between Saka and Vinny, and again, I think Vinny's a good player, I'm taking Saka every time, because attitude matters to me. It's who I am, and I think Saka has carried a team more so than Vinny has. Vinny hasn't had to carry. It's Madrid. You don't have to carry Madrid. You don't have to carry them.
There's always someone else there, yeah.
But I've seen Saka for 4 seasons in a row, as a very young player, was like, hey, let's go, get on the back and do what he needs.
That's why he's wearing the armband over Gabriel.
But again, just using all of that, I'm saying, if I'm an Arsenal player, hey man, don't nobody want me? I would feel away. I would feel away, even though it's not real. It's sort of that Michael Jordan creating an enemy thing. Yeah. And I would do that, because realistically, in your mind, you're like, but why would I leave here? Like, I'm here. Like, I'm in London at Arsenal Football Club. Why? Where am I going? Right?
Yeah.
But you look. people came, hey, Rodri's at Man City, best team in the world. But Madrid is like, I don't care, we're Madrid.
Yeah.
Barcelona was like, Julian Alvarez, come to us. And now and he doesn't go there and he goes somewhere else. And now he regrets it because you're not going anywhere better than the team that was
I
built.
don't know if Julian Alvarez regrets where he's at. He's lighting it up, dude.
He does. It's in the news where he's unhappy with the ambition of the Atleti project.
It's Diego Simeone. Of course he is.
Hey, man. I'm just saying this, sir. I understand that your ego didn't want you to play behind Erling Haaland. I get that's what it was. I 100% get it. But you would have been winning. Just saying. We sucked last year and we're in the final.
Pep has never, ever gone 2 seasons without a trophy.
So we sucked last year. We were in the final.
So you're due. So you're supposed to win a trophy this season.
And he left on his own. Now here's the thing. I kind of get him for this reason. He played behind Messi, and he carried Dar. And I know I might be a hot take, but he attacking wise carried that Argentina team that won that World Cup. He was doing work. Messi was the penalty guy.
Started on that.
Messi was the penalty guy, but on the field, Alvarez was the beast. And so he was like, all right, I'm willing to take the backseat because this should be Messi's last one, and I'm up next. So to leave that, to then play behind Erling Haaland, who is literally your contemporary. I think Alvarez might be a year younger than him, or they might be the same age.
That Haaland is like 25.
Yes.
Like 20. He's like 24. Like, Jesus.
So Haaland's 25. But so in Alvarez's head, he's like, okay, I was fine sitting behind this guy, but this guy's my age. So there's never, like the rest of my career, I'm behind him, you know?
Yeah, because you ain't catching him. You ain't as good as him. You ain't going to be as good as him. You ain't going to score as many goals as him. That just is what it is.
But it's crazy because if you could play with Messi and do what you did and win, you could have kept doing that with City because he won everything. Like literally, Alvarez won every trophy available to him that season. Everyone. I think he won like 8 trophies that year.
Y'all would be so different if your whole complexion would be different if you kept Alvarez because Pep would be
approaching. Alvarez stayed. It's not kept because he left.
Fair enough, but it'd be wholly different how you would have approached everything this season if he was still around.
Yeah,
it would have been completely different.
Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, again, much respect to him. Fantastic football player, lighting it up. But to the point, the Arsenal players, I'm not giving you a pep talk, but I would have a chip on my shoulder that Madrid don't want me. That Saudi's not willing to pay me $1 billion or euros or pounds sterling or whatever they get paid to play football for them. I want why am I not in the tabloids or in the rumor mills? What about me? Right? Am I not good enough? Oh, well, I gotta stay here and win trophies. That's what I got to do.
Hey, I hear it, man. I definitely think there's probably some of that. I really hope Arteta is able to keep the guys kind of not really focused on that kind of stuff. I like that we're trying to give players contracts early. As soon as you show that you've had a good season, we want to reward you up the salary and keep you on. And they're trying to keep this team together, which in the past is not something we've ever been able to do, man. We always, there was a time there where we legit were just like, are you guys Southampton? Like, are you a selling club? Like, we just gave you every player under the sun. Gal Clichy, Bakary Sagna, Samir Nasri, like Emmanuel Adebayor even played for City. Like, you know what I mean? We used to just dump off all players. RVP goes and is way better. Fabregas goes and wins stuff. Like,
yeah, but the funny thing is that while I hear you on that one, man, RVP did go, but he didn't stay there long, so it's okay.
Say what?
He didn't stay in United long, so it's okay.
Yeah, but he went to like our biggest rivals and dunked on us.
He did.
I was like, that and it's that one's still sour. We won't get into that. Never mind. We won't get into that one.
No need, right? I got
Yeah.
you. Though.
It's just the ones that you love the most when those kinds of stories happen.
Yeah.
And it cuts deep.
But for Arsenal, I'm not saying I would, but I would be mad, and I would have that as a chip on my shoulder that I'm not good enough to poach from my team. I'm just
Well,
saying.
hey man, I think Saka's definitely embracing the leadership role he's had this season. I think he's definitely obviously he gets double teamed still. Obviously, players like to kick the crap out of him every chance they get, and I think he's handling it well, man. I think he's still scoring goals. Obviously, he's on our penalty kick taker, so I don't mind some stat padding. When Gyökeres isn't on the field, Gyökeres is actually the penalty taker because he's got a crazy, crazy good record. That's another thing I was thinking about. A lot of people were saying, I think we were talking about it last time. It's interesting to see why we bought different players and how they've ended up. The best example at the moment is we bought Mikel Merino to be a midfielder, to be the left 8. And then now Jesus goes down, Havertz goes down, Gyökeres goes down. And so we got our fourth choice guy coming in and just dunking on him. And I think it's a testament to, if you kind of look at nearly every player we have, Arteta has made sure that they can play more than one position.
Yeah.
If you look at our back line, only Miles Lewis-Skelly is not a center back. And he's actually a midfielder.
But he plays like fullback, doesn't he?
He plays left back, but in the youth team, he was a center midfielder. That's why he inverts a lot. That's why he's so comfortable on the ball. That's why he loves to take a man on.
Gotcha.
Because naturally, naturally he's a midfielder. And then, Declan can play literally anything you want. You can give Declan Rice the goalkeeper gloves, and I'm sure he'd be a monster.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with that,
The only player that is kind of singular position is Gyökeres, and which is no problem.
But that was the position where you needed somebody to just be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need you to be a striker. Please,
there's no problem with that. Yeah. But Merino can play any of the midfield spots, and he's obviously preferred to Trossard, who would if Merino didn't play up top, that's the next guy who would have played forward, because Martinelli's also injured. There's a hell of injuries.
Yeah, I saw your list. There's like 8 guys
at Arsenal right now, man, and we're still managing to just keep the performances. And it's not necessarily the fact that he doesn't have to change anything when the different guys comes in, but it's that the levels are still there, which is something that, okay, maybe we've had bodies in the past, but it was Rob Holding coming in when Willie Saliba goes down, and we have a must-win game at the Etihad on my birthday, and Haaland lets his hair down on us. Ay, man. I'll never forget that.
I got nothing for you, man. Got nothing for you.
My birthday, bro. I went to an Arsenal bar in Austin, Texas to watch that game.
Because you had a win that weekend, right?
I was. And I had to sit next to a Spurs fan. Some dude had brought his buddy to the game, and this guy was a Spurs fan. He ended up sitting next to me, was just loving life. That whole game, man. That was the game where Haaland nods it down and KDB takes one step past Rob Holding and then swivels, curls it around David Raya's just scrumptious, delectable goal that I was so sour. Oh, man.
As you should be. I understand.
Don't you hate it when your opponent scores just an absolute screamer, just an epic goal, but it's against you and you just you hate them, but you're awesome. You guys are awesome, but I really hate you right now.
Yep. No, I understand.
I'm hoping to do that to a lot of other teams this season, and
Well, I mean, a team that I think in the Stadium of Light, man. I think that's one that.
and I think it's at home actually.
No, it says Sunderland is home.
Oh, it is away.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. I pulled it up because I was looking at your schedule. But yeah, you play at
that
the
makes it
Stadium
a
of Light.
lot trickier.
Yeah, man.
Oh
Stadium of
man,
Light.
you're right, dude. I thought it was gonna be.
I
I
didn't
thought
know. I
that
just
was gonna
happened to
be
pull
an
it up.
easy 3 points, man. That's not gonna be. That changes everything. I thought it was gonna be a nice smooth sail off into the international break sunset. That's gonna be a tough match. That's gonna be a really tough game, man. Um, ooh, we're gonna need to go full strength there for
Well, I
sure.
mean, it's late Saturday, so and you guys play Tuesday, so that's plenty of time.
Well, there's no Jokeres, so that's definitely we'll probably obviously play Merino again. But yeah, other than that, I don't want to see Nwaneri. I think that in the last 3 games he's been given a chance, and honestly, I don't think he's really taken it. He got swallowed in the first half of the League Cup game, but everyone did. We looked completely out of sorts, and not really had any control. And he improved. He improved greatly in the second half of that game. Got the good goal in that one. Same story really against Burnley. And then against Prague, he was kind of a passenger in the first half as well. Improved a little bit in the second half, but I don't want to see him against Sunderland. It needs to be Eze in there. So it'll be I think it'll be Trossard, Merino, Saka, and then Rice, Zubi, and Eze. And then the back four should be the same, unless Saliba's. No, Saliba played the whole 90 against Prague, so it should be the same back four. But yeah, honestly, it will be tricky. They're going to bring a lot of energy. They got some speed for sure. Xhaka's got the experience. So it's going to be a tough one. But I think just more of the same, really. Continue to, because they're going to be playing the long balls, trying to win the second balls. Just win them. That's where the game's going to be won. I don't know how deep of a block they're going to play. They've been poor away from home, and they had more of possession against Everton. Like they were the one pushing the game against Everton at home last week. So I expect them. There will be a spell. There will be a spell where they'll bring some energy, and we'll have to weather it. We'll definitely have to weather it.
Their defensive record is pretty decent as well.
Yeah, this one will probably be a low score, and I doubt we're going to smoke them 4-0. To be honest with you,
this is a really interesting fixture. Like, I mean,
yeah
man. At the Stadium of Light.
I think we definitely. I think we obviously we have enough quality, and we're definitely on the right run of form. I think we'll definitely take care of business, but they're going to throw it at us. They're going to give us some issues. Dare say we might concede a shot on target. Dare I say it? No, it's definitely they're definitely going to make us work for it. And honestly, I think it's an important one to close out this string of wins. I think it'd be really poor to drop points here and go into the international break after such an amazing run on a low note like that. But I think they'll be up for it, and I think if we play our game and continue to bring the mentality and the urgency, that's what it's going to be. We're going to have to match their energy because that stadium is going to be right behind them. It's going to be a big occasion, like it always is at the Stadium of Light. I still remember in RVP's last season. Speaking of RVP, it might be one of the last games I can remember us playing against Sunderland there in 2012. No, they've been in the league since then, right?
I don't think so, man, because I was looking and it was the last time you played them was a while ago, man.
It might
And
be where we had to win. We had to win, and we scored in like the 90 seconds into the game. We scored immediately, right? It's RVP's last season.
it
And
says 2017 was the last time you played
okay, never
them.
mind. So this
That's the
would,
time they were in the league.
yeah, this would have been 5 years before that. But it was at Stadium LA, and we had to win to like stay on pace to get fourth place. And it was one of those games that was on ESPN2 back in the day before NBC bought the rights to broadcast the league in America. And it was the early game, and it was on ESPN2. I remember I was in
So it had to
college.
be in 12 then, right?
In 11-12, yeah. I was in college, and we scored like right early in the game, and then they scored in like the 60th minute or something like that, and it was 1-1, and I was sweating because we had to win. And like in the 92nd minute.
This is an Henri scored, right?
No.
Is it the one?
Maybe. It might have been.
February 11th, 2012. They scored first, you scored. It was 1-1, assisted by Arteta, and then Henri scored in the 90th.
No, that's a different one. What is that one?
Because you said so did RVP score?
I thought it was a crazy free kick at the death, is what I'm remembering. It might have been the season before. I don't know. That all runs together.
But that happens. No, it could be. There's a 2-1 there too, so this might be.
Yeah, the 2-1. Maybe it was the home fixture or something, but we had to win, and RVP netted it.
It was this one because it looks like RVP had a brace.
Yep, he scored early, and we were leading for a long time, and then he hit the free kick right at the end. I went crazy.
Yeah, this is it, because he scored in the first minute, and then he scored at the end.
Yep. Yeah, man. So yeah, I've got some memories against Sunderland, and I think they've been flying high, of course, but this can't be anything but a win. We got to keep the momentum going, especially if you look at the fact that you play only Chelsea really play a game that they should win, and it's Wolves. But United play Spurs. You play Liverpool. I think, who does Newcastle play? Like all the teams right in and around us play each other. So it's definitely another opportunity to get more points up. Yeah, Villa are playing Bournemouth, and Brentford playing Newcastle, Palace, and Brighton. So yeah, it's definitely another opportunity to gain some more ground, and especially when you're playing Liverpool. That's why I'm hoping for a draw. But yeah, we need to continue every opportunity. I don't think there can be a let up, especially not against Sunderland. So I expect us to take care of business if we do the same things that we've been doing. Continue to defend, like that's everything they're born to do. They're obviously, definitely enjoying themselves on the defensive side of the ball. If we do those things, I think we'll continue on, and we'll be able to win.
Yeah, it's crazy because again, I'm just looking, and like this is a top of the table clash. 4th place, man, versus 1st place.
Who would have thought?
Well, it's crazy because looking 4th place first and 2 plays 3 same weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
very interesting.
Very interesting, for sure. But yeah, I'm thinking 2-0. I'm thinking a nice controlled 2-0. I mean, which one's more inevitable? Haaland to score or Arsenal to win to 0? Because we're on the exact same run, actually. Actually, I think Haaland didn't score versus Villa, and that was it.
That was the one game. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think because of the level of the game, I think Haaland does score in this game. But if we're picking, I think you guys probably get a clean sheet.
Yeah, I think both will happen. I'm probably gonna bet both.
Yeah, I would bet both. I think both of those things happen. I don't know the City result again. I've gone away from predicting games because
Oh, the
I,
result? No, I won't predict that result. No,
there's
I
no
will
way.
not put money. I will not put money on that result.
No.
Maybe both teams to score,
Well, I
but
mean,
the easy
Liverpool.
money. The easy money is Haaland on the score
Well,
sheet.
and Liverpool's letting in goals, so I feel like City will score. I'm not worried about the scoring part. It's the end result that
Yeah,
is the question.
yeah, that one's tough to call, man. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, man.
Who knows? But one thing that it would be interesting to kind of look at if we're looking at the Champions League as a whole next week, the favorites 1 versus 2. That's really gonna tell.
Oh boy.
That's really gonna tell who's the actual front runner, who's the really is the favorite. Because for me, I'm gonna tell you that Bayern are favorite.
I
16 wins out of
I would
16
say that.
games.
I would say the same thing.
Yes, we have uh, a fantastic defensive record at the moment. We are the immovable object in the equation, but 56 goals. They 56-11 in 16 games.
16 straight wins.
That is insane. That's absolutely, it's crazy, man. And they didn't even, like, Harry Kane rested at the weekend. Like in their last game, they still scored 4 goals or something like that.
Well,
That
that's because Lucho's on fire.
one, oh yeah, he won't be able to play versus Arsenal. He's gonna have to serve that ban versus in UEFA, not in Bundesliga. So he'll miss
Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah,
he'll miss
but I
the
mean, it's
Arsenal game.
yes, but I mean, Bayern is literally just next man up. It doesn't even matter who's there. It's another
Yeah,
guy.
that young German kid is killing it.
It doesn't even matter.
I mean, if we stop that juggernaut, if we stop Kane, Elise, and these guys, that's a statement.
I'm curious on how Vinny is gonna set them up though.
Away from home.
I'm curious about that. I mean, Vinny's gone in every game and just like, hey man, we're Bayern, and he just punched people in
Smash
the
them.
face. He
Yeah.
just punched him in the face. So I don't know,
Smash
man.
them. Yeah. Yeah, Inter are quietly handling their business, but I've also, I have had my eye on them, had my eye on the Serie A, of course. Since that 4-3 loss to Juventus, they have not lost a match. And that's like a month ago. They haven't they struggled against Verona at the weekend. Verona are proven they don't score ever. Verona don't score much, but they're tough. They're tough to score against. They survived on the last day last season, so they're one of those like West Ham type teams. But they've been really difficult to score against, and Inter found it difficult at the weekend, which is it's interesting to me because in the Champions League, Inter they're just dealing with them. It's just whatever you put in front of them, they're just dealing with it. And we play them too. We have to play them 3 games out.
I'm about to say that's like in late December.
Um,
No, you play them in January. Is that the last game?
no,
Because it's January 20th.
we have Kairat. That's the last game.
Then it's the next to last game then. But
Yeah,
that might matter. Like that game might
the
matter for
Inter game
position.
might. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
As far as clinching like a top 8 position, but we
Yeah,
saw
that's what I
last
mean.
season that as long as you're top 8,
Yeah, you're fine.
you're fine. As long as you get the bye, you should be fine. Because if you look at it, PSG finished 23rd last season in the league phase,
Yeah, we know about those weird placements.
and
We're
then
part of
stomped on all the English teams, except for you. Yeah, I think your City are quietly going to be really tough to beat in the Champions League as well.
We look like we finding some form, but that's all connected to health, man. I mean, I think that I mean, just being honest, it's all of it's connected to health and how healthy the team is, going forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think if Haaland goes down for a run of games, I think it will be less detrimental than everyone thinks it will be.
Yeah, yeah, I think it will be too.
But it'll still, obviously, Marmoush ain't just going to come in and start bagging 2 goals a game.
I I don't know. He was doing his thing when he was in Bundesliga. It's interesting because I just saw an article about will Marmoush get to start any big games, and I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is he's just getting back to form, and he was good. And the funny thing about that is that uh, Holland is strangely become a giving player. So I don't know, man. I think I'm curious, just knowing like how the season is. That one of the commentators in the game said uh, he's playing this way because they said he had a bad season last year. And his bad season was like some insane numbers. And he's like, all right, I'm going to beat that at the middle of this season.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm going to
insane.
beat in November. That's crazy. Do you think that, we might see a Marmoush underneath Haaland at some point in this season?
Those are the, it's funny because I can see if you have true wing play, then I can see Marmoush and Haaland playing together.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to have real wingers out there. And
Savinho ain't it.
So I'll leave my silence on that one.
Yeah.
Because Marmoush can play on the wing, but he's not a winger. And if he does, he's gonna play like a second striker anyways. Like he's play
coming inside. Yeah.
It's where he's comfortable because he's clearly good when he gets to do that. And the funny thing about this guy is he's hungry to score. Like you can see every time he touches the ball, he wants to shoot it. Like every single time he wants to shoot.
Yeah.
And I think about this because you mentioned the international break, and I mean obviously these games coming up are just like your rando friendlies, but
not for everyone.
No, well, for like the qualified teams, they're rando
for
friendly.
most, yeah.
But it's you just look at that and he's like Egypt's in, but he's like, hey man, I'm trying to secure my place in the team. So
yeah,
there is that because. Even though their manager is not Carlo Ancelotti, like, hey, you got to prove stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll be playing for that hunger because he wants to be the heir apparent to the Egyptian, sort of pharaohhood following Mo Salah.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting looking at this table. Halfway through the league. The league campaign now. If Paris, I don't know. Paris still are going to be incredibly difficult to beat for me.
Hell yeah.
They just got blitzed in the beginning of the game yesterday.
Yeah.
And then once Lucho got the red card, Bayern sat in, just complete sat in,
I wouldn't do anything either.
Didn't do anything else. So Paris, I definitely think. And Newcastle United. Look at that. 6th place.
Hey, man, the EPL is representing pretty well, man.
Holy crap, dude. They've only conceded twice.
Oh, that was not a shot, but Chelsea is,
Hey. Yeah, man. I get that Patrick is a fan and he's loyal and he wants to defend his guys. I don't know what it's just typical Chelsea, dude. They don't want to play against Sunderland. Don't want to play against Wolves. Hey, but we got Tottenham at the weekend. That's a spicy one. Let's get up for that one. Oh, we're traveling 2,500 miles to play who again? Yeah, whatever. There's no
I
consistency. Like, get up, have some energy.
I don't have an answer. I don't know.
So what are we gonna? That's what I'm saying. What are we gonna see against Wolves? I don't even know what we're gonna see against Wolves because it's like the last time you played Wolves, you smashed them and then went to sleep and
You know,
and almost lost the game.
the thing that I'd look at is I think their answer is the players, the fans is, well, we won the Club World Cup. I think that's gonna be like the like that house from Up, that it's gonna be their balloons holding them up all year. I mean, I think if they find consistency, they can be a very good team. I don't know where, but I just think it's very interesting because, like, for the last 3 years, you literally never know what you're going to get from Chelsea.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Plus, Delap will be back, so he should be playing. Maybe they'll get another red card. That's the only consistency they've had this season.
And then they win, so you got to roll with that, right?
Yeah, when they get the red card, they do win. That's for sure.
And is Palmer coming back anytime soon?
I don't know, man. Every time I hear like he's close, it's like, oh nope, it's even further out.
Hold on.
They need him.
It says December.
It's
a groin. Creativity. I didn't know it was a groin. Nah, man, groins. Oof, those you don't come back from those quick.
Nah. They definitely need some creativity in there. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that is for sure. But yeah, man, as far as champs are concerned, that high line from Hansi Flick is not it's not making anybody feel safe. They've conceded more goals than a lot of teams in this league. They've conceded the same amount as Q-Bag, Barcelona have.
That's so crazy.
That's not good. That's not good at all. But they got the firepower. They have scored more than most, although they're conceding at a high clip. Sporting Lisbon are looking halfway decent.
Atletico Madrid conceded 9 goals.
Yeah, well, we did 4 of those in one game.
But I mean, that's like a very uncommon thing for them. Like,
yeah,
that's what they
Napoli were hit for 6. Well, Napoli, man, they're so weird. They're so weird because they're eking wins out in Serie A.
But top of the table.
They look poor in Champions League, man. 6-2 to PSV is embarrassing.
I don't think they're deep. I think their issue is they're just not deep.
I think Kevin De Bruyne going down has been a problem.
Yeah, especially since he won't be back until what, March?
Yeah, maybe McTominay coming in will have more freedom now that he's not having to accommodate KDB in the lineup, and they might be able to get back to form from last season. But they've been really poor in the league, in the Champions League, that is. So have Juventus, man. Some of these, Juventus, they've had some coaching change, and now they're in another betting scandal. Some weird stuff going on there.
You just leave it and just let people.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, it's definitely looking nice up there at the top, and I'll tell you, man, the view's pretty good from up here.
Gotta bask in it, man. Gotta bask in it.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man. As long as we continue to play defense like we're playing, I think we got a shot at everything. That's for sure.
And that's the thing. Like, just one game at a time, and just until there's no more 1 games.
Until it's the last game. Absolutely. Man. Yeah. So I'm excited. Same as last week, same as the week before. Train keeps rolling on, and Stadium of Light's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it for sure. It's definitely been a good one. If you're still here, get the likes up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Of course, thanks for being here. Hype it up and comment below what you're thinking about Haaland, what you're thinking about Arsenal, and let us know who you think's going to win the Champions League. Of course, once again, thanks for being here, and we will see you next time.